Breaking news right now. Take a look at this. Live pictures as hundreds of protesters are inside Seattle City Hall. Images all over Twitter showing the scene this hour, and you can see hundreds, looks like. We got word that Seattle City Council member Kshama Sawant had a key and opened the door to let them in as they chanted for the mayor's removal. Sawant has been calling on the mayor to resign following protests that turned violent in parts of Seattle. We have a crew headed to the scene here. We'll bring you a live update just as soon as we can, but you can see the crowds just packed into City Hall in downtown Seattle, and a lot of images right now on social media, including Twitter. A lot of these protesters holding signs saying Black Lives Matter. We're trying to get more information, confirmation as well, as to whether Kshama Sawant indeed had a key and let them in. As we get more information, again, we'll pass it on.
It's just going in there.
Well, tens of thousands poured into the streets nationwide, and amid the tensions that are rising between protesters and police.
Miguel Almagar has the story.
Taking over boulevards, freeways, and bridges, the call for change in the name of George Floyd is now being realized in communities across the nation. In Portland, after violent clashes, the police chief is stepping down, clearing the way for a black chief who is the head of community policing.
I'm going to listen. I'm going to care about the community.
The growing demand for accountability includes calls to police the police.
Not one officer tried to help me.
The New York cop who shoved a demonstrator to the ground cursing at her during a protest against police brutality was charged today with misdemeanor assault, harassment, and menacing, a rare step but likely not the last officer to face charges for abusing their power.
One incident in one area results in every cop in this nation being tarnished.
With cities like Los Angeles imposing a moratorium on some arresting techniques, other departments are simply dropping charges against protesters.
But after more terrifying scenes like these of cars plowing into demonstrators, there is also accountability for those behind the destruction. In Minneapolis today, Brandon Wolf faced a federal judge accused of arson after a mob overran a police precinct. With demands for reform gaining momentum, today a quieter but just as powerful call to action. 87-year-old Merle Evers, the widow of civil rights activist Medgar Evers, led her own protest at her retirement home, a pioneer from the past, ushering in change for the future. Miguel Almaguer, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Some of the people behind the violence and destruction in Seattle 10 days ago could face charges in federal court, according to the region's top law enforcement official. U.S. Attorney Brian Moran says federal agents are targeting what they call opportunists.
There are a lot of people that want to hijack that message of peace and understanding and love. The FBI has put out a call for video. We're analyzing lots and lots of video. We're looking at federal offenses. Obviously, an arson would be one. Certain actors coming from out of state to in-state might be invoke federal jurisdiction, crossing state lines.
Those images from 2 Saturdays ago. Now, cases that are prosecuted in federal court often carry much stiffer sentences than in state court.
The police chief in the city of Snohomish has been reassigned after armed citizens took to the streets to defend against potential looters. King 5's Eric Wilkinson reports.
I think it's a recipe for disaster.
David Clay has lived in Snohomish for 59 years, and he never thought he'd see his beloved town so divided.
I'm fearful for me and my family.
Last week, armed men patrolled historic First Avenue in downtown Snohomish to, in their words, protect people and property. There was also a racist element, Confederate flags and people flashing racist hand signs. Mayor John Cartow.
Why were they allowed to come into town?
Well, why would we have the right to make them leave is the real question. And so I can answer this much, and that's that we did ask them to put their guns away, but we do have this thing called the Second Amendment. I saw one Confederate flag, which I think is disgusting. It was on a truck that kept driving around and around. There's some people who are upset that I didn't run out in the middle of the street to stand in front of that truck and tell them that they're not welcome in Snohomish.
Amid growing anger over the presence of those armed men, now former police chief Keith Rogers has been reassigned. The mayor calls that a shame, and folks like David Clay aren't happy either.
I don't think that the fix is reassigning the chief of police. I think the fix is we need new leadership in this county and in this town. And I like many other citizens in Snohomish, are calling for the resignation of the mayor, John Kartak.
What's your response to that?
Well, why?
You're elected to represent everybody in the town, right? And some of those folks don't feel like you're representing them. How do you
My job is to make sure everybody in Snohomish has a voice, and it's my job to listen to everybody. My community is not racist, and I think it's time that elected leaders stand up for their communities and stand up for their police chiefs.
Do you stand behind Black Lives Matter?
Certainly. They're peaceful. They come out and they demonstrate against racism. They demonstrate against wrongdoing. Absolutely.
Eric Wilkinson, King 5 News.
4 King County Council members introduced legislation to make the county sheriff an appointed position and grant subpoena power to the county's Office of Law Enforcement Oversight. Council member Rod Dembowski saying that these are important reforms that can help improve our justice system. They have been thoroughly vetted and developed with public input over many months. The reforms may end up on the November ballot. One reason council members gave for appointing the sheriff rather than electing the position, they don't want elections to politicize law enforcement.